happy Thursday. Thank you for the new subscribers and thank you for all the returnees. The door is always welcome. And for those who haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell when I come live or I drop a new video. People, people day, people yeah. El Salvador offers to house violent U.S. criminals and deportees of any national in their prison, in their mega prison, for a fee. So we're going to get into the prison system. Don't hear it from me. Let's drop this one quick and fast.
Existing, and that will continue. First, obviously, he continues with full cooperation on the returning of Salvadorians who find themselves illegally in the United States and welcome them back home. And that's already existing, and that will continue. But second, he has agreed to accept for deportation any illegal alien in the United States who is a criminal from any nationality, be they MS-13 or Tren de Aragua, and house them in his jails. And third, he has offered to house in his jails dangerous American criminals in custody in our country, including those of U.S. citizenship and legal residence.
Could you imagine? For a fee. For a fee, you guys. For a fee. Now, do you guys know that these prison, remember, let's get into some more story. Just a second. Just a second, people.
The president, in an act of extraordinary friendship to our country, knowing the challenges we face in the U.S., has agreed to the most unprecedented and extraordinary migratory agreement anywhere in the world.
Could you imagine?
He has agreed to accept for deportation any illegal alien in the United States who is a criminal from any nationality, be they MS-13 or Tren de Aragua, and house them in his jails. And he's also offered to do the same for dangerous criminals currently in custody and serving their sentences in the United States, even if they're U.S. citizens or legal residents.
So could you imagine? Could you imagine, people? Could you imagine? So now, folks, Donald Trump basically want to accept this man favor, right? Let's get into that part. Because Donald Trump said basically it's cheaper to house criminals. Remember, they pay, most of these jails are not owned by the government, it's owned by private people. Okay, let's continue. Remember, most of these jails are not owned by the government. It's subsidized by the government. So these people are keeping people in here for a fee. Okay? Hear what Donald Trump has to say. All right, folks?
Worst of worst end up here. And we're about to pay a visit to this place. It's called CCOP,
The mega prison.
the Center for Confinement and Terrorism. This is the very first time a foreign TV crew has been allowed entry inside these walls. And here's why. These are the pictures that have shocked the world.
And I want to pause. These are the pictures that shocked the world. That's why they have these prisoners shackled 24/7, people. No bed, no mattress, none of that good stuff at all. Okay? Let's continue.
Maxi Jail, billed as the world's toughest prison, holds up to 40,000 inmates.
Okay, 40,000 inmates. Look how they hold them out. Look what they look like. Look here. Let's continue.
In the most brutal conditions imaginable. But for El Salvador's Justice Minister, that is just about right.
Okay. So,
The president.
after that, you all, Let's get into the prison system for a second. Now, Donald Trump says Donald Trump welcomes the El Salvador president idea. Let's get into this part. Okay? Let's get into this part. All right, let's get into this part. Please on tongues.
President Donald Trump is now considering a slightly different.
So President Trump, okay, is accepting this idea because it's cheaper. All right, so let's continue.
Kind of deportation. El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, made the U.S. an unprecedented offer on Monday, writing on X, "We have offered the United States of America the opportunity to outsource part of its prison system. We are willing to take in only convicted criminals, including convicted U.S. citizens, into our mega prison, CCOT, in exchange for a fee. The fee would be relatively low for the U.S., but significant for us, making our entire prison system sustainable."
Here's Trump's response last night. If we could get them out of our country, we have other countries that would take them. It's no different than a prison system, except it would be a lot less expensive, and it would be a great deterrent. Send them to other countries. If we could go a step further, in other words, we're talking about getting the criminals out of our country that come in through other countries illegally, right? The illegal migrants, as I call them. Well, we have people that are just as bad as them in our country. If we could get them out, I'd be very happy.
Wow.
Salvador said that he wanted you to pay a fee for that. Would you pay that?
Well,
Listen.
It's a very small fee compared to what we pay to private prisons.
What did I say?
And a very, very small fee. I don't know. We'll have to find.
So what did I say? So sending the prisoners of any background, whether they're from Jamaica, whether they're from Trinidad, whether they're from any other country. If Donald Trump make up his mind to these people who are seeking prison time or doing prison time to send them to El Salvador. Remember, El Salvador prison is the toughest, biggest in the world. They don't play you, so them shackle them. They don't always need a. So if you take up this, then I guess badness will decrease instead of increase. Now, I want to get into the prison system quick and fast. I want to give you guys a 101 on the prison system, yes? I want to give you guys a 101 on the prison. Now, you guys know the prison is owned by private-owned rich people, yes? You guys know that the prison, 99% of the people are in prison are black folks. A lot of them are there because of wrongful conviction. A lot of them are there because of their own stupidity. A lot of them are there because of lies told and been at the wrong place at the wrong time. So we have to give them all of that. Now, let's talk about who makes money from the private prison. Okay, let's get into this. Remember, the prison is a money-making hit wonder. So let's get into that, and then we're gonna wrap up the story some more. Yeah, let's jump into this 101 teaching. Okay, let's get into this one, folks.
The privatization of prisons and detention centers has been a source of debate for over 3 decades.
There has to be some things in our society that we agree are not a business opportunity.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with profiting off of anything. The question is, are you providing a service with good quality, with humane conditions, and so on?
The moral imperative of government should be to deliver the best outcomes.
The U.S. privatized parts of its state and federal corrections and detention facilities in the 1980s. 2 companies in particular, CoreCivic and Geo Group, have dominated the industry. But the uncertainty of a highly polarized industry stems mainly from the political climate. At the end of President Obama's second term, then Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates announced that the administration would phase out private prisons. CoreCivic and Geo stocks plummeted. 2 months later, President Trump was elected, and
So if they phase out the prison in the States, remember, CoreCivic and Geo Group, who own most of these prisons, therefore El Salvador can come into play because remember the fee is lesser, and remember paying this private prison is more money, mad hell more money from taxpayers. So at the end of the day, when you think about it, El Salvador, the mega prison will house so much people, would be a good fit for America if they want to save their money, especially when they're talking about this tariff fight, when they're talking about saving money and all of these kind of things. There may be possible other countries will end up maybe want to send their prisoners there because El Salvador is a prison, was backbreaking. You will never ever find yourself in trouble again once you land there. Let's continue.
Soared.
There has been political sensitivity in our stock. It's unfortunate, but our focus continues to be operations. That's what we can control. We can't control the political dynamic.
But lately, things have taken a deeper turn. Democratic candidates call for a total abolition. A number of states have or could be banning the industry. And Wall Street is divesting. On top of it all, prison populations are decreasing.
That's a huge indictment.
Despite all the noise in the market, companies have very good liquidity.
How a company is structured on its balance sheet does not save it from a cultural revolution.
Well, I don't know if it's a breaking point or a time of change, but I think it presents, again, an opportunity for us to be more transparent about
And
what
and
we
and
do.
and the president of GEO is a Chinese man. The president of a
Structure
the president of GEO is a
on
Chinese
its
man.
balance sheet
I'll show
does
you.
not save it from a cultural revolution.
Well, I don't know if it's a
Polarized industry.
Okay.
Went from $3 million to nearly $18 million.
See?
Overcrowding was becoming increasingly problematic.
The profit.
With the growing
Okay, so the profit.
populations are decreasing.
That's a huge indictment.
Watch. Just a second, guys. I repeat that because I want you guys to see for a second.
How a company is structured on its balance sheet does not save it from a cultural revolution.
well, I don't know.
And this is the founder of one of the jail them, a Chinaman. And you know how Chinese people allegedly when it comes to black people. So this man is making billions. 'Cause remember, majority of the incarceration are black men in prison. Look at his face. Oh, the owner and founder of one of the prisons. Na na na, Baba B, do do do. I shout. Anyways, so we're not gonna drag this out at all. Let's move on into some more important factors now. Did you guys know that you can invest in prison stocks? Say who? Did you guys know that you could invest in prison stock like how you invest in bank stock, like how you invest in Bitcoin, like how you invest in everything else that makes sense underneath the sun that you claim are going to make you money later on? Did you guys know that people are buying stocks and bonds off a prisoner? Prison. Let's get into this one. You didn't know? Well, you're here over here. Let's drop this one quick and fast. Right here. Okay.
So how to invest in prison stocks? Prison stock would be just like any other stock. What you need to do is do the research, find the names of the various corporations who not only build but also operate the prisons. And you maybe actually find companies that are involved in one section of the prison business, if you will, either the internal security, if it's not run by the state, may also be the construction of the prison and also the general operation. There are private companies involved that work in conjunction with both state and federal authorities to run these institutions. And so there's a lot of different layers. So prison stock would be just like any other stock. Find the companies, you get their ticker symbol, do some quotes and some research on the particular company and see if it's a good fit for you. And so when you're doing your research, use normal either website or brokerage person that you would normally be talking with to get that information and do your research on the prison stocks and look at it just as you would any other investment vehicle.
Okay. All right. So if you didn't know that you could buy prison stocks, you can. So these jails, privatized owned. These jails are mega money off of black folks because majority of the incarceration people are black folks. Black folks, you need to stay woke, you need to stay out of trouble, you need to stop buying the guns, you need to stop mashing up your community, you need to stop getting in these prisons. Because if you don't get yourself in trouble, you have no judge, you have no prosecutor, you have none of these people who work in these kind of jail system. So these kind of system, these kind of business that they have when it comes to jail is just a business to keep their side of family having job. Remember, most of these people don't want to work in factories. Remember, most of these people don't want to do anything other than want to be rulers, boss, judges, and all of these things that come with all of these kind of situation when it comes to this jail system that are holding our black men or incarcerating our black man. Not saying the one them don't put themselves in trouble, but you have all kind of people put themselves in trouble like the Donald Trump and end up become a president. So you know what it is. When you're privileged, when you don't have the skin for protection, these are the things that happen. Stay woke. I'm only trying to make open you guys' eyes to see why we don't end up in a prison. Let's continue. So now, after that situation, you guys realize that we could buy prison stocks, yeah? We want to talk about in prison where they have people that they send out on parole. I mean, on parole to go and work in these McDonald's. So you may be at work and then you hear, oh, we're going to have a new employee today. You don't know much about the employee, but in God, he knows you don't know deep down when it comes to your employer, they're hiring prisoners for almost free because they take majority of the prisoners' money. So let's go all the way in Alabama, where the incarceration that they send out these prisoners to go work. Now, let me ask you guys: have you guys known in prison that they make drive your license plate on your car? They make a McDonald's uniform. They make canoes. People are still in prison picking cottons. Modern day slavery is still going on behind these bars. So let's jump to Alabama, when Alabama is going to basically tell you what they do with their prisoners. So when you go out there eating food, just know maybe it's a prisoner preparing your food and you don't know. Let's continue. And if you're wearing some stuff out here that you don't know where it's manufactured, factoring or factored, maybe it's not in China, maybe it's not in India, maybe in the same prison that you're out here running around thinking that prison is here to correct people, but prison is basically here to slave and enslave people. Let's get to all the way to Alabama in the modern day slavery in the prison. Let's get into this one.
Well, calling it modern slavery, does that feel right?
Just about
Listen.
to say that's slavery. That's slavery. You took away the whips, but you put the paperwork. Took away the masters and you put them in uniform. Same difference. Same difference.
It kind of appears that there is a coordinated system in order to protect the labor that's created by them.
Okay, and I want to interject, and I'm not going to interject no more after this is finished. Remember the other day when California had the wildfire? Who did they go drag out to come and burn out? I mean, to let out, out the fire or to put out the fire? Wasn't it prisoners? And I came and said to you guys, people, prisoner out here, fight fire like firefighters. Remember, there's a program for prisoners to end up in firefighting situation, to come out here, to play with smoke, to play with fire, to kill off themselves. Remember the other day in California? And I came and shout. Let's continue.
Walk into a McDonald's in Alabama,
Listen.
and the worker flipping your McDouble could be an incarcerated person.
What did I say?
It's a sad situation of where they getting rich off of us.
The Alabama Department of Corrections farms out incarcerated people to work at hundreds of private companies and government agencies across the state.
What did I say?
McDonald's, Burger King, Golden Corral, Wendy's. They got a Wendy's.
So have you eaten Wendy lately? McDonald's lately? Could be a prisoner right there behind there flipping your burger for free. Let's continue.
Track right now, state trooper's office.
They'll send everybody everywhere.
They'll send you everywhere. Yes, the parole office.
And even though ADOC trusts these incarcerated people to leave prison every day and work alongside the general public, many of them are still denied the chance at real freedom.
See?
I work for y'all, but when I come up from parole, you deny me. Why would you deny me?
You know why most of them get denied on parole, but they're allowed to leave to go and work and see their family within 72 hours. They're allowed to leave and work. No issue. They're allowed to go and there see their family. No issue. But they're not allowed to go on parole. You know why? Because once most of these people go on parole, there's no free labor and then there's no money for people to collect. Remember, it's 450 million in Alabama prison that they collected from these prisoners' paycheck. Not only that, if everybody's supposed to walk free from prison, then nobody will be able to buy prison stocks and bonds. I hope you're hearing me. Stay out of trouble. Stay woke. Find something constructive to do. Stay positive. Don't go out there, go thief. Don't rob. Don't kill so you don't end up behind these bars while these people are living off of you. Let's continue.
Because you're getting free service.
This is a story about corporations and the state of Alabama exploiting prison labor.
Listen.
And the coercive policies they use to keep its citizens trapped in servitude.
It doesn't work.
Listen.
It's a terrible system.
If you're wondering how any of this is even legal, well, it might not be. That's what we went to Alabama to figure out.
We know about Alabama and their racistness.
So yeah, could you just describe like how long you worked here and?
Listen.
I was here 18 months. I ran their kitchen.
Golden Corral.
From 8 to 5 every Tuesday through Thursday.
Wow, yeah. That sounds like hard work.
It was.
Elizabeth Thomas was in the Alabama Work Release Program for 5 of her 15 years in prison.
Listen.
So they had a combination of incarcerated people and free world people.
Yes.
Did you feel like there was a difference how they treated?
Oh, most definitely. We work longer hours.
Make the work release work over, work extra days, don't want to give you off days. Like, no, I got to eat my health. I have to get rest. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a machine. But that's how they look at you, like.
This is Quincy Sanders.
Listen.
During his nearly 17 years in prison, he worked at several restaurants, a lumber yard, and McDonald's.
Like, working a real job and trying to stay being incarcerated is a very hard experience.
Listen.
You have to be mind strong, really.
Alabama has one of the most overcrowded and deadly prison systems in the United States. Even the Justice Department found conditions there to be unconstitutional. In 2023, almost a person a day died in Alabama prisons, which is almost 5 times the national average.
Or they might get beat to death.
So if there's 30 days in most of these months, then every day, every month, there's 30 people that dead out the prison. Jaja. And it should be black folks as well. Oh my. Oh my. And when it comes to prison at times, they say that it's segregated. The Chinese are by themselves, the blacks are by themselves, the Mexican are by themselves, and the whole list go on now. So when we're out here, oh, we feel sorry for them. Oh, we feel sorry for deporting them. Let's mind our own business now. We have our own issues and problems. Let's continue.
People beating folks with sticks. They breaking broomsticks, making little billy clubs. People in there stabbing each other. People in there doing drugs. People in there almost about to die. They not giving you no nursing assistance. The nurse probably get there. You probably be dead.
But ADOC offers people in prison with nonviolent misdemeanor convictions
a
potentially life-saving deal. If they join the work release program, they get to live in special facilities that are generally much less dangerous than regular prisons. They spend their days working in the free world without prison supervision. And they can earn 72-hour passes to visit their families at home.
If you go out here and you do the right thing, you get the elevate.
So what did I say earlier? So they allow them to go here and work without no guard. They allow them to see their family 72 hours. Yeah, go see your family. See you in 2 days. See you next day. Yeah. But they won't put them on parole. Because once you put them on parole, where would the free labor come from? Once you put them on parole, where would the prison stock come from? Once you put them on parole, then the private people that own the prison, where would they make the money? Come on, people. Open your eyes. Stay woke. Let's continue.
You get to grow, you get out of this facility. But what you didn't tell me is that you finna get all my money.
Listen.
That's what they didn't tell you.
The state takes a 40% cut of every incarcerated worker's wages off the top.
Listen.
Before taxes. Plus an additional $5 a day for van rides to and from work.
Jaja.
$15 a month for laundry, and then any restitution.
Did you hear? So they take 40% of their paycheck. So I want you to have $800 and take 40% from that and see how much you get. 40%, $5 a day for the van ride, and $15 a month for the laundry. Let's continue to count and see how much more money they have out of their paycheck after 80 hours working. Let's continue.
Court fees.
If your check is $636,
Listen,
you might see two something out of that.
told ya.
And that's every 2 weeks. And you done work 80 hours and only seen $200.
What did I say?
Like it makes you lose motivation, because you know money motivates people, especially working. So it kind of makes you lose motivation.
One estimate calculated that the state of Alabama enjoys a benefit of more than $450 million.
You hear? 450 million annually they make off of these prisoners' paycheck working. Plus, they're subsidized by the government. So how much money these people are making off of Negroes? Negroes, put down the gun, please. I'm asking ya. No joke, no shade.
A year off of prison labor.
Listen.
And it's slavery all the way around the board, just slavery.
And unlike free world workers, incarcerated workers can't just get a shift covered or quit.
ADOC has a list of rules that
Listen.
all incarcerated people are expected to abide by. Rules like don't have contraband, be in your bunk at the required time, and rules like don't refuse to work. That's a rule on the books.
CJ Sandley is one of the attorneys behind a recent lawsuit filed against ADOC.
The range of punishments folks can face if they get written up for refusing to work include solitary confinement, losing access to phones, tablets, visitation, access to their families and loved ones for like 30 days, 60 days, being required.
So you're here. So we're not going to drag out this content because the content is rather long. Almost 30 minutes of your time, but almost 30 minutes of the good information. When you come over here, like I said, anybody could roll over here except the little kiddies under 18, because when we're over here, we're here to beat and teach and inform you with education now. Not that I know everything, but more time you got to stay woke and know more, have knowledge. Knowledge and wisdom is the key of life. They say when you want to hide stuff from the black folks, put it in a book. They say when you want to hide stuff from a black folks, talk about knowledge and wisdom. People. So when you hear El Salvador is talking about, yeah, we'll house your criminals. Yeah, we'll house your prisoners, because all of this multi-million money that these people are making, you make them work, you take half of their money, 450 million. Plus, you're getting subsidized by the government. Plus, these people are having all of these jobs where they're a sergeant, where they're judges, where they're prosecutors, where they're all of these kind of job sector that a wraparound black man being incarcerated. So prison wasn't out here to deter him. Prison wasn't out here to correct you. Prison was out here to make more money on top of money on top of money for other people who are not in those kind of workforces. Check the levels, people. Am I talking shit? Am I talking shit or am I talking true facts? Not fiction. Anyways, guys, I think you guys already had enough information. This was a good content. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Peace on. Love.